Hello friends, I am Professor Shraddha Sheke from KK Wag Institute of Engineering. Welcome to our lecture on the course on digital circuits. In this session we are talking about the combinational logic design. Objectives of this lecture are to talk about Quinn-McCluskey method. In previous lecture, we have discussed about K-maps, how to simplify the expression using K-maps. As we know, while reduction in the Boolean expression, there are 2-3 ways to reduce that. First way is that we can use the Boolean laws like AND law, OR law, or maybe the De Morgan's theorem, and then we will simplify the Boolean expressions and we will reduce that. Other method is by using the K-map, that is Karnaugh map. But there are some disadvantages of K-map. See, K-map, even though K-map is systematic approach, but as the number of variables will increase, that is 5 variable, 6 variable and so on, the K-map will become complicated. How to simplify expression using 5 variable K-map and the introduction of the 6 variable K-map, these two topics we have covered in one of our previous video lecture. So in this lecture we will talk about the other method of reduction in the Boolean expression, that is the Quinn-McCluskey method. So let's start with that. This is also called as tabular method. It computes all the prime implicants. Find the minimum expression of the Boolean function. What is the prime implicant, that we will discuss afterwards in this lecture only. No visualization of the prime implicants. It can be programmed and implemented in the computer. These are the advantages of Quinn-McCluskey method. Observe this expression. For example, we have to simplify this expression using Kluskey method. If you observe, the maximum number represented here is 15, and that's why we require 4 variables to simplify this expression. So initially you may think that it is some complicated method for solving the 4 variable expression, for reduction of the 4 variable expression. Up to 4 variable you can easily solve by using the K-map. But if the number of variables increases, the Kluskey method becomes simple. As this is our first example, I have considered a simple question. The same process is to be followed for the even if the number of variable increases. Observe here, the expression is function is w, x, y, z. These are the 4 variables. Summation small m 0 to 13 and don't care is there 2, 9, 15. So first step is divide all the min terms and don't care of the function into a groups. What is meaning of this? We will draw 2 tables. First table for min terms, second table for don't care. In some books you must have observed that these don't care entries are also written below this table. There is no problem. What we have to do, the given terms, given min terms in the expression, right, 0, 3, 5, 6 should be written in that table, and w, x, y, z is their binary representation. So this is how you have to represent all this term in the first table. Okay. Next step is divide all the mean terms and don't care of the function into the group. What is meaning of this? Prepare one more table. The first column will be for groups. And remember, group number always start from 0 or G0 as shown in the diagram. Then mean term ID, the variables w, x, y, z and merge mark. About the merge mark we will require in the next step. First, what you will write in the group 0? You have to write all these mean terms in the increasing number of the ones it contains. What does it mean? In group 0, you have to include that mean term which is having no 1, means 0 times 1 should be there. But the number should be there in the given expression. Only select these numbers. Any other number is not allowed. The first number is 0. And in this table, if you observe, we have written there equivalent. So for mean term 0, what is the binary equivalent of this? All zeros. It does not include any one. So in the next table, that is G0, the mean term ID 0 will come and its binary representation. Is there any other number from the given expression which contains no ones? There is no such a number present. So group 0 is over. Next we will go to the group 1. See, group numbers will start from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So group 1, what you will include in this? You have to include the mean terms which are including only 1. Again coming to this table. Is there any mean term which is having only 1 time 1? Yes, 2. That is 0, 0, 1, 0. If you observe carefully, no other number is there which is having only 1 times 1. That's why 2 will be there and it's binary. Next, G2 is the group of such numbers which is having 2 times 1. If you observe carefully, mean term ID 3, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2 times 1. Then mean term 5, 0, 1, 0, 1. Then mean term 6, 0, 1, 1, 0. Mean term 7 will not be there because it is having 3 times 1. This is how you have to identify and you have to write. Then G3. These should be the terms which is having 3 times 1. And G4 is the next group which is having 4 times 1. After this table, you just have to make sure that whether all the mean terms in the given expression, this was the question given, whether all the mean terms are included or not. By mistake, you should not keep any one of this as not included in this table, because if you forget to include any one, the next answer will go wrong. Okay, so up to this it is okay. The next step, in the next step you have to prepare the same type of the table, but what you will do now, you have to compare all the nth group with n plus 1th group. That means G0 will be compared with G1, G1 will be compared with G2, G2 will be compared with G3 and G3 will be compared with G4. Remember that G0 cannot be compared with G2 or G1 cannot be compared with G3. We have to compare only the successive groups. And what to check? We just have to check whether there is change in only one variable. Let us take example. If you are comparing G0 with G1, that means mean term 0 with mean term 2. Observe the variables w, x, y, z. W is 0, x is 0 and z is 0. Only y is changing from 0 to 1. That means you can group these two mean terms together. And now you have to put tick mark in the column of merge mark. Where to put the tick mark? For in front of this mean term 0 and in front of the mean term 2. Let us move to the next slide. Observe. Yes, first table is as it is, same table is copied over here, and the next table is what we have discussed right now. So we were comparing group 0 with group 1, and as per our discussion they can be grouped together. So merge mark means some tick mark is put over there in front of 0 and 2. But what to write? Again group numbers, observe the second table. In this group numbers start from Z0 dash. You can use either Z0 or G0 dash, no problem. The mean term ID are the mean terms which are grouped together, that is 0 and 2. And W, X, Y, Z is, W is constant, that is 0, X is constant 0 and Z is constant 0. Y is D, that is either you put dash or you put D. This is not the don't care as we have studied previously. This is only the dash or D and Y, or you can say the number is, the variable is eliminated. Same with G1. Next you have to compare G1 with G2, group G1 with G2. But how to compare? The mean term Z2 will be compared with mean term 3 and check whether they can be grouped together. Oh yes, they can be grouped together because W is 0, X is 0, Y is 1. You will observe in the second table, second row, W is 0, X is 0, Y is 1. And what about Z? Z is D because Z is changing. We want change in only one variable. Afterwards, they can be grouped together. Already there is a merge mark put in front of the 2. You will put merge mark in front of the 3. Then 2 should be compared with 5, mean term 2 and 5. Whether they can be grouped together? No. More than one variable is changing. 0, X is changing and Y is also changing. That's why you cannot put them together. Leave that. Then 2 with 6. See, at this stage you are not going to put a merge mark in front of the 5. So it will be blank. But why that? Maybe the 5 can be grouped with any other number in the next table. That's why that merge mark will be there. So 2 and 5 you cannot be grouped together. Don't put merge mark in front of the 5 first. Then check 2 and 6. Yes, they can be grouped together. Observe the second table, third row. Now you can put merge mark in front of the 6. Then compare 2 and 9. No, they cannot be grouped together. Don't put merge mark in front of the 9. Check 2, 10. Yes, they can be grouped together. Put merge mark. D 0, 1, 0. 2, 12 cannot be grouped together. Don't put the merge mark. This is okay. Afterwards, for G2 dash, second group, sorry, third group, you are comparing from the first table. Now we have to compare G2 with G3. And same, check whether there is change in only one variable. In this case, first 3 can be grouped with 7, 5 can be grouped with 7. Now you can put merge mark in front of the 5 and 7 and so on. So you will obtain this second table as shown here. Once the second table is over, again you will prepare the next table, which is same, the entries will be same. Now what you will check? You have to compare each Z0 with G1. That means 0, 2 will be compared with 2, 3 in the second table. And what to check? There should be dash or the D at the same position and there should be change in only one variable. So in group Z0 dash in the second table, observe D is present at Y. Now in G1, whether there is any term in which D is present at Y? No. So they cannot be grouped together. Keep it as it is. Don't put merge mark. Then compare G1 with G2. That is 2, 3 is compared with 3, 7. 2, 3 is compared with 5, 7. 2, 3 is compared with 6, 7, and so on. Afterwards 2, 6 is compared with 3, 7. 2, 6 is compared with 5, 7. 2, 6 is compared with 12, 13, and so on. Again check. D should be at the same position and there should be change in only one variable. Let's move to the next slide. Here the group G1 dash dash and G2 dash dash. Here you can start from G0 dash dash and G1 dash dash, no problem, because it will not be included afterwards, because it is only the name which you have given. Now if you compare the G1 dash and G2 dash in the first table together, you will find 2, 3 and 6, 7 can be grouped together because the dash is present at Z and there is only one variable changing, which is X. So you will write here 0D, 1D as shown in the first row of the third table, and there will be dash in front of 2, 3 in G1 dash, and in front of there will be merge mark in front of that mean terms. This is how you will simplify. There can be some terms, mean terms, in front of which merge mark is not present. Observe the first table in this diagram, in this slide. G0 dash, no merge mark. G1 dash 2, 10, mean term 2, 10, there is no tick mark. What is meaning of this? These are called as EPI, that is essential prime implicant. These EPIs should be directly included in the last table, that is PI table. So they will be, we will stop this grouping when there is no further merging is possible, as shown in this diagram. So observe the G2 double dash, that is mean term 0 and 2, and there is D at variable Y. So W is 0, that's why W bar, X is 0, X bar, and Z is 0, that is X bar. So W bar, X bar, and Z bar is the term. So this is how you will write this corresponding mean terms for each and every mean term ID. And the last table is PI table. This is the PI. Next is a PI table, that is prime implicant table. In this you will write the mean term IDs. But observe, in case of don't care, you don't have to include the don't care terms in mean term ID. Include only the summation small m terms. W bar, X bar, Z bar are the PIs, that is EPI, that is essential prime implicants, are nothing but the terms in front of which there is no merge mark. They cannot be merged with any other number further. Then over the W bar, X bar, Z bar, we can write the corresponding mean terms over there. Observe the slide. Here mean term ID, you will observe the first row. The mean term ID is 0, 2. Right? So this from this mean term ID 0, 2, we have obtained the PI, that is W bar, X bar, and Z bar. So this 0, 2 can be written on the top of this W bar, X bar, Z bar. W bar Y, observe here. The second G1 dash, second row, 2, 3, 6, 7. By using this mean terms, we have obtained w bar and y. So 2367 will be written on the top of the w bar y, and so on. What is this 111? So basically the w bar, x bar, z bar was 0, 2. So horizontally you will observe 0, that 0 is present in 0, 2, so write there 1. Further, this will not be present in any other term. Then 3 is there in only w bar y. Observe here 2367 at the top of the second term, that's why only 3 is present. So this is how we are writing that once. Once it is completed, then we have to observe horizontally. How many times? First observe the row. Essential mean term, EMT is denoted by red line, that is essential mean term, that should be there in the final answer. So 0. Observe the first row in which you have to highlight the ones which should be there in, there should be only one in one row. So observe the first row in front of the 0. How many times 1 is there? Only one time. So make a red square or red circle. Observe the second row, that is in front of the mean term ID 3. How many times 1 is there in that row? Only one time. So only one times 1 is there, that's why square that. Then in front of the 5, there is only 1 times 1. Now observe the 7, 2 times 1 is there, so leave that. Observe 13, 3 times 1 is there, leave that. So we are drawing the red square or the red circle around the 1 which is there in only one time 1 in one row. Then observe vertically. Essential, prime, implicant. These are the terms below which there is only one which is encircled. W bar, x bar, z bar. Observe vertically, only 1 times 1 is there which is circled or the squared, that's why it is EPI. This is how x bar, y, z bar, x, z, w, x, y bar, this will be included. What about w bar, y? Once you will do this, once you will find the final answer, then you have to check whether all the mean terms given in the question are included or not. There should not be any mean term which should be remaining. That means if you don't include w bar, y, then mean term 6 will not be included, right? Because if you observe the mean term ID 6 which is included, or the red square is there in only w bar, y column, that's why this should be included in the answer. That's why all the mean terms are covered, and this is how we will get the answer. So this is the answer. Addition should be there, w bar, x bar, z bar plus w bar, y plus x bar, y, z bar plus xz plus w, x, y bar. So this is how we can solve the expression by using Klasky method. Thank you.